The Principality of Galilee was one of the four major seigneuries of the Crusader Kingdom of Jerusalem. According to 13th-century commentator John of Ibelin, the direct holdings of the principality were around Tiberias in Galilee proper, but with all its vassals. The lordship covered all Galilee and southern Phoenicia. The lordship of Galilee had a disproportionate number of sub-vassals. The independent Sidon was located between Galilee's holdings. There are reasons to doubt Galilee's position as overlord of some of those. The principality was established, at least in name, in 1099 when Tancred was given Tiberias, Haifa, and Bethsan by Godfrey of Bouillon. In 1101 Baldwin I limited Tancred's power by giving Haifa to Galdemar Carpanel, and Tancred was forced to give up the principality and become regent in Antioch. The principality became the fief of the families of Saint Omer, Montfaucon, and then Buez, and its main seat was in Tiberias. Thus it was sometimes also called the Principality of Iberias or the Tiberiad. The principality was destroyed by Saladin in 1187, although the title was used as dignity by relatives and younger sons of the kings of Cyprus afterwards. The principality also had its own vassals, the lordships of Beirut, Nazareth, and Haifa. Each of these in turn often had their own sub-vassals. The number and the size and significance of some were disproportionate. List of the princes of Galilee. Italicized names of titular princes: Tancred, Hugh of St. Omer, Gervase de Bizouches, Tancred, again, Jocelyn of Courtenay, William I of Buez, Elinard of Buez, William II of Buez, Gautier of St. Omer first husband, Esquiva of Buez, Elinardo sister and William II of Buez, Raymond III of Tripoli and his wife Esquiva de Buez, Hugh II of St. Omer, Raoul of St. Omer, Esquiva of St. Omer with her husband Odo of Montbelliard 1240–1247 as ruling princes, Philip of Ibelin, Balian II of Ibelin, Bohemond of Lusignan, Guy of Lusignan, son of Hugh IV of Cyprus, Hugh of Lusignan, son of Guy of Lusignan, John of Brie, Henry of Lusignan, son of James I of Cyprus, Philippe of Lusignan, son of Henry of Lusignan. Lordship of Beirut. Beirut was captured in 1110 and given to Fulk of Guiens. It was one of the longest-lived seigneuries, surviving until the final collapse of the kingdom in 1291, although only as a tiny strip on the Mediterranean coast surrounding Beirut. It was important for trade with Europe, and had its own sub-vassals. Italicized names of titular lords: Fulk of Guiens, Peter, Walter I Brisbane, Andronicus I Comnenus, Walter II, Walter III, Balian of Ibelin, John of Ibelin, Balian of Ibelin, John of Ibelin, Isabella of Ibelin M1, Hugh II of Cyprus M2, Hamo Lestrange M3, Nicholas Lalman M4, Guillaume Barlet, Esquiva of Ibelin M1, Humphrey of Montfort M2, Guy of Lusignan, Rupin of Montfort, Guy of Ibelin, John of Lusignan, John of Lusignan. Sub-vassals of Beirut. Lordship of Banias. Banias was given to Baldwin II by the assassins in 1128. Baldwin gave it to Rainier Bruce, who also ruled the lordship of Assabebi, which was eventually merged with Banias. Rainier's daughter married Humphrey II of Turon, who became lord of Banias around 1148. He sold parts of Banias and Chastelneuf to the Knights Hospitaller in 1157. Banias was merged with Turon, until it fell to Anwar ad-Din Zangi in 1164, and when it was recovered it became part of the seigneury of Jocelyn III of Edessa. Rainier Bruce, Humphrey II of Turon, Jocelyn III of Edessa. Lordship of Tyrone. The castle of Tyrone was built by Hugh of St. Omer, 2nd Prince of Galilee, to help capture Tyre. After Hugh's death it was made an independent seigneury, given to Humphrey I in 1107. The lords of Tyrone tended to be very influential in the kingdom. Humphrey II was constable of Jerusalem. Humphrey IV was married to Isabella, Amalric I's daughter. It was also one of the few to have a straight hereditary succession in male line, at least for some generations. The lords of Tyrone were also connected to the lordship of Ultra-Jourdain by the marriage of Humphrey III and the maternal inheritance of Humphrey IV. Tyrone was later merged with the royal domain of Tyre, which went to a branch of Antioch, then their heirs from Montfort. Tyrone was lost in 1266. Tyrone had two vassals of its own, the lordship of Castelnauf and the lordship of Tyrone-Armoude. Castelnauf was built by Hugh of St. Omer around 1105 but was later given to the Hospitallers, until it fell to Anwar ad-Din in 1167. Tyrone-Armoude remained in the lordship of Beirut until John of Ibelin sold it to the Teutonic Knights in 1261. For a fuller account of the lordship and the feudal family, see Tyrone. Lordship of Nazareth. Nazareth was the original site of the Latin Patriarch, established by Tancred. Lordship of Haifa. Haifa was partly an ecclesiastical domain ruled by the Archbishop of Nazareth, and partly created from other lands in the Principality of Galilee. Valdemar Carpanel. Tancred. Rorgius. Pagan. Royal domain. Vivian. Pagan. Rorgius II. Garches Alvarez. Giles d'Estrain. Miles. Geoffrey. Giles II. John of Valenciennes.